Hi, everyone. For our focus on characterization here in week 2, I wanted to elaborate on an approach to characterization that we touched on regarding What Remains of Edith Finch, but didn't get too far into. With Edith Finch, we were focusing on vignettes. For this demonstration, I would like to focus on environmental characterization, and I would like to do that using one of my all-time favorite games, Fallout New Vegas. Now, if you're not familiar with the game, this is one of the DLC. This is Old World Blues. When you first enter Old World Blues, you are confronted with a bunch of robots who want you to help them take over the world. You find out that these robots were scientists before the war, actual human scientists, but through the experiments that they wrought on themselves and their whole environment here in Big Mountain, they have turned themselves into brains in a jar that have been roboticized. And they've lost a lot of their humanity as a result, and now they are like single-mindedly focused on taking over the world. When you first get into the DLC, you get to meet these robots and converse with them at length. It's actually more of them talking at you for a very long time. On one level, it does a good job characterizing them, but on the other hand, it's a very passive way of characterizing them. You sort of stand there as the player and you watch them go at you, go at each other, talk for a very long time. If you don't click through any of the dialogue, the talking lasts about 15 or 20 minutes. Now you can sit through all of that dialogue and all of that characterization, or you can come here to Higgs Village, which is where they lived before the war. This was their human house while they were here as scientists doing experiments to help the war effort. As you can see, it's very Oppenheimer. The robots, back when they were humans, lived in each one of these houses. And you can actually go in these houses and get a feel for what their human lives were like. And by extension, get some explanation and some background for their personalities now. Now, if we go in this first house right here, dear God, this is a mess. We have radio, computers, not a whole lot in terms of food or anything that would make this place habitable. Dude. We have a broken Securitron here in the corner, along with a smattering of tools and another console here. And some glasses. This is obviously Dr. O's house. Dr. O is pretty single-mindedly focused on his inventions and his gadgets. He also can't talk very well, so you don't get to learn a whole lot about him from him himself. Up here we have another Securitron. More computers. Dr. O is quite brilliant in a lot of ways, but also sort of the stereotypical nerd that doesn't really take care of himself and doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to his human needs or environment. He's carried this personality with him into his robot life. If we come over here, let's see. Where are we? Ooh. Nuka-Cola Victory. I'll take one of those. Here in House 101, this is a lot more comfortable, it looks like. We actually have furniture. We actually have some nicely preserved furniture right here. And good lord, we have a full-on residential bar. We have taps. We have whiskey. We have liquor, we have wine. Many of these bottles are empty. This is Dr. Klein's house. He has his bookshelf here, has a good many books, has a somewhat more ordered kitchen. But here you get a little more insight into Dr. Klein's personality. In many ways, he looks very, very put together. On the outside, at least when you first meet them, he looks like the most put together of the group. But Dr. Klein has a very low tolerance for stress and annoyance, which helps explain the bar over here. Dr. Klein is a bit of an alcoholic. He's a bit of a self-medicator. If we come up here, yeah. Dr. Klein also likes his comforts. He's not someone who could live in the kind of environment that Dr. O was living in. He needs his fancy stuff. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Which one is oh wait. Is this? Whose house is this? We have some niceties. We have some furniture. It's not a total wreck. Camera. Let's go upstairs. Oh my goodness, this is Dr. Dalla's house. You find out very early when you're talking to her that Dr. Dalla loves teddy bears. She loves things that are soft and cuddly. And dare we say fleshy. And here we can see how she was living as a human. We have her little picture studio here, where it looks like she was photographing some teddy bears in various positions that we won't necessarily go too far into. Ooh. I'll take. And then we come in here to the bedroom. We can see she's got a lot of teddy bears on the bed. And also here on the bed, we can see she's got the sexy sleepwear positioned here. Ready to go. Oh, more sexy sleepwear. Dr. Dalla, you get a glimpse of this early on when you are in dialogue with them at the beginning of the DLC, but when you come to her house here, you really get a better sense of how fixated she is on the body. Flesh, cuddliness, softness, sensuality, and her house makes it much more evident how much she appreciated sensuality and sexuality in her human life, even if she did repress it a little bit while she was still in a body. But it also helps explain her robot character a lot more. You can really tell that Dr. Dalla misses that humanity. She misses being in a body and all the sensuality that came with that. Yeah, those are a few of the houses of these robot characters. What I think that Higgs Village does really well, and arguably maybe better than that opening sequence of dialogue is it lets the player go through their human habitat and get to know these characters on their own and interpret them and piece together uh, all of the puzzle pieces of their human life to understand what they were like before the war and how it informs their characters now that their characters are sort of boiled down to this brain in a jar. So it's a good way of characterizing your main antagonist of this game and doing it in a way that you can discover and interpret for yourself. So in that way, the characterization is a lot more immersive. It's a lot more player driven. It's a lot less in your face and more subtle, and it invites you to get to know the characters themselves. So in that respect, I think Higgs Village does a great job of characterizing some of the main characters of this DLC and doing it in a rather immersive way. Thanks for watching, everybody. Oh my god.